I'm Julie David, and I wanted to tell you why I love Premier. This is my Love It bag, and I have been selling Premier now for over 11 years, and it has radically changed my life. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about me and a little bit about my story and why I love it. So when I started selling Premier, I was a totally different person than I am today. I really struggled with self-esteem and personal confidence, and I didn't feel like I had any friends. I certainly had no money. I was a mom of 3. I had 2 5-year-olds, and my littlest one was not quite 2 yet. And I was feeling that itch to do something to help our family out financially. You see, we had struggled as a 1-income family, and we, in fact, were a 1-car family an entire year. So I was really trying to figure out what I could do from home. Now, I'm also a homeschooling mom, and I needed to buy the kindergarten curriculum, and it was $1,000. So I somehow had to magically find that money. I'd been babysitting 2 times a week, and I was making $500 a month. So I needed to stop babysitting so I could homeschool every day, kindergarten, and I needed to find the money to pay for that curriculum, which we did not have. So a friend of mine said, you should sell Premier Designs. Now, what is really interesting about this is the person that I was, because if you look at me today and you go, well, that seems like a perfect fit. You love the jewelry, you're so outgoing, you do so well, but you see, that wasn't who I was then. So let me share with you a picture of the old me. Okay, so this is me with my daughter, and here's another shot. You gotta love the hair, okay, very fashionable. And oh, here's another one. Doesn't even look like me. Okay, so I didn't understand fashion, and guess what? I didn't wear jewelry. So all I would wear were teeny tiny little itty bitty earrings, and maybe occasionally a little tiny necklace similar to this, and maybe my son's Power Rangers watch, right? Having kids, you put their stuff on your body. That was the extent of my accessories. I didn't understand fashion, I wasn't into jewelry, I wasn't outgoing. In fact, I am an introvert. So the thought of getting up in front of people and talking to them one-on-one was really intimidating. So how did I get here? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Premier offered 50% profit. And I was like, yeah, I need to make some money. Now, on my very first show, it was a $1,000 show. So I actually made $500 that night. Now remember, I was making $500 a month babysitting 2 days a week. So this was a magical number to me. I was so happy. And so I started to do more and more jewelry shows. And so one of the first things that I was able to do, hold on, wait for it, was buy a car. Now, we had been given a second car by a friend, but it was sort of a beater car and it had been towed 8 times. So this was really exciting that we now were able to be a 2-car family. That was thrilling. And one of the things I love about Premier is that sometimes it's just about paying for one bill, one thing in your life that you need. Maybe paying off credit card debt, maybe getting another vehicle for your family, maybe paying for private school. Speaking of school, I love that Premier gave me the flexibility to work when I wanted to work and not work when I couldn't work. And I had 3 little kids. And so one thing that's so fabulous is that by doing something like Premier, if it becomes your only job, you can be there to get your kids off the bus and put them on the bus, and that is a really wonderful thing. Sometimes that's a big desire of people's hearts. Now, for me, what's been really cool is that my kids have tried every type of school you can imagine, and Premier's been there every step of the way to either provide the income for private school or allow for the flexibility when they went to public school to be available at night to help with homework, or when we went back to homeschooling, to allow me to be there all day long to help them with their schoolwork during the day. So I have loved the flexibility. One thing I didn't anticipate in my story, but God knew, was that when I decided to sell Premier, I had no idea that I was dyslexic, or my son and my daughter are dyslexic. And we discovered that in the middle of our Premier journey. And what was so amazing is that God had elevated my business over those years to a place where we had the money to pay for this really awesome private school in Butler that specialized in dyslexia. And it was there, it was available, and so my kids got to go to that school until they aged out for 3 years, and God provided that income through my business. So it was really neat to see Him make a way for something in the future that I wouldn't even know we would need, and He provided it. So that was such a blessing. One of the other things that was really neat is that 2 years into Premier, we were able to sell our little Smurf house and buy the house that we're in today. And we trusted the Premier income. I was doing it full time and making a nice and steady income. And so Premier really allowed us to have the quality of life that we were dreaming of. So you might be asking, how in the world did you go from an introvert who had no self-esteem, no confidence, no fashion sense, didn't even wear jewelry, into someone that is successful in this business? I'll tell you how. Hold on. Another thing from my little bag. Support, okay? I had a lot of support. There were a lot of really wonderful ladies in Premier that came beside me and said, hey, do the presentation this way. Put this piece of jewelry with that piece of jewelry. Go ahead and try out some bigger earrings. You can do it. And they taught me exactly what I should say. And now I'm that person for everyone else. And I love being a mentor, a coach, a guide to other women to grow their business to be just as successful. So I've loved that. Now, my husband will tell you the money's been great. He loves the money. It's great. We've got 2 cars. We go on vacations that we win from Premier. I have wonderful friends. It's been so great to be in this house, to pay for private school. We have 2 solid incomes. But the greatest thing that he feels that Premier has done for us is this. When I look in this mirror, I now see the woman that God always intended me to be. The woman that was always there, but she just didn't have the confidence to come out. Stepping out and doing something that is difficult for you to do grows your confidence. And I did it, and it wasn't terribly hard, and I found success, and I grew as a person. So it's been a very exciting journey, and I love that I have really battled my struggle with self-confidence to become the confident woman that I am today. Now, one of the last things that I love about Premier is that it really fits every type of woman. You know, there are some gals that just want some fun money, okay? Fun money, Faith. And she just wants to do a little tiny bit, maybe sell to her friends, maybe just enjoy the 50% discount. You know, there's a place for her. She might just want some community, want to be sort of entrenched in learning fashion tips and be a part of the group. We love that because there's no quotas in Premier. You can come and be a part of this and do as little or as much as you want. And we love just having you be a part of our group. Now, you might be someone like Pace and Bill's Paige, like, oh my gosh, I've got a teenager and I need another car. Or I've got a teenager and I'm gonna have to pay for college. Can you tell I have 3 teenagers actually now? So maybe you just need to pay off some credit card debt. Imagine if you could add $200, $400, $500, $800 a month and you pay down that debt, or you pay for that car, or you put it away for college, whatever it might be. Just doing a little bit in Premier, a few shows every month, you can pay those bills. Now, you might be someone that's like, I hate my job. I want to build my jewelry business so that I can quit that job and have the flexibility to travel, to be at home with my kids. I want to make more money. You have big dreams. You can do that with Premier. It's the kind of thing we can do it right on the side, or it can totally replace your income. So you might be entrepreneur Emily and you want to grow a Premier family. When we add people to our team, Premier pays us 10% of whatever Premier makes from the jewelry that that girl sells, which is half of it. And so when you grow your Premier family, you get a whole nother stream of income, which is really exciting. And so growing as a mentor and a coach yourself can really provide that income, along with selling jewelry and making 50% of everything you sell, be a way that you could actually change the trajectory of your life. And this, of course, is all that I do. I have my master's in teaching. I could be back teaching, but I love to teach and mentor and coach women in changing their lives. So these are the reasons why I love Premier. I would encourage you to find out a little more. When Premier was first introduced to me, I was like, oh, that's crazy. I don't even wear jewelry. Why in the world would I sell it? But can you imagine if I had said no? Our life is totally changed because Premier is a part of it. Premier is a wonderful company. It's biblically based. It's got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. It's members of the Direct Sellers Association. But you know what? It's run by people who know us, care about us, love us, and really want to make this a super amazing, wonderful company for those of us out in the field that are selling this product. And they take a part of the profits at the end of every month and they give it away to charitable organizations and missions around the world. So I always feel really good about what I'm doing. So if you want a little more information, you can go to my video, enricheverylife.com, or reach out to me. I would love to give you some more information and maybe even have coffee and chat.